δύο.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Vasilis Tsoulis. I'm the Director of Career, Employability and Enterprise Center here at City College, the International Faculty of the University of Sheffield. We are really happy and lucky to have Chick-fil-A with us today. I cannot remember when was the first time that we were so happy to meet the company, have them here in Thessaloniki. I think it was sometime in November 2008, Ignatie, something like that, a long time ago. Since then, we are very happy to have them almost every year coming in, usually during the autumn. How many of you have heard of the brand Chick-fil-A? Okay, interesting. How many of you have actually tried the food? Okay, I mean, it makes sense since they only have restaurants in the US so far. One in Toronto, and a pilot in London for a semester last year. Okay. So it's always interesting and great to have them coming over. We never talk about the recipes or the food. We always talk about interesting things. Not that the food is not interesting, but interesting things like how they do business, why they do business, the values that they believe in, and the values that they share with their customers. And how come they are what we could call in Greece or in Europe a fast food, but they don't work on Sundays. And lots of other interesting things like that. And how they have managed to owe $0 to any banks. They grow organically. And how they have around 1,000 applications for new restaurants that are opening every year. And like there's restaurants like around 100 each year. So it's a great pleasure to have them here today. Usually they talk about their serve model, as they call it, but this year we are going to have the opportunity to hear them speak about their digital strategies, the online strategy, the social media presence. And I think that this is really interesting for you, and it's going to be challenging. And of course, you should feel free and welcome to ask questions and meet our guests. I will hand over to George, who is going to tell a few things about the company and present you the rest of our guests for tonight. Right. Many thanks for being with us again.
Handshakes, right?
The floor is yours.
Well, thank you. Would you like microphone or no microphone? I'm very loud.
We need to use the microphone.
I use a new microphone. Online streaming.
All over Europe can listen to
First of all, how impressive the crowd. Wow, great job to you guys. I understand you were not forced to be here. Don't tell me if you were. You were not coerced. You were not forced by a teacher, given bonus points, or taken at gunpoint to come listen. So hats off to you. In the United States, I'm not sure how many would come. My name is George Trump. Many of you know my father, Donald. Actually, I have a bigger connection to you than you think. No, I'm not related to Donald Trump. You cannot leave now because I said that. Actually, μα λένε Γιώργος Αγγελάκος και... Η μάνα μου, Αγγελική, γεννήθηκε έξω από τη Αθήνα, στη Κηφισιά. Ο πατέρας μου, μάνα και πατέρα, γεννήθηκαν έξω από τη Σπάρτη, στα Νόια. Και ο πατέρας μου ήρθε στην Ελλάδα να πάει στο πανεπιστήμιο και είπε δεν μπόρεγε να βρει souvenir να φέρει σπίτι, so έφερε τη μάνα μου. So, εγώ γεννήθηκα στη Αμερική, καταλαβαίνεις τα σπασμένα ελληνικά που μιλάω Greeklish. Δεν ξέρω όλες τις λέξεις. So, εγώ αγαπάω την Ελλάδα πάρα πολύ. Έχω 3 παιδιά και μένω σε ένα χωριό. Και παντρεύτηκα μια Αμερικανίδα και που μπήκε μέσα να γνωρίσω τη γιαγιά μου που έμενε τη Αμερική εκεί στο χωριό μας για 50 χρόνια και δεν έμαθε να μιλάει εγγλέζικα. Έφερα τη μάνα μου, my girlfriend τότε μέσα στο δωμάτιο και είπε φύγε από εδώ, δεν τη θέλω. Because my papu used to say the καλύτερη Αμερικανή είναι χειρότερη από τη χειρότερο Ελληνίδα. So I'm Greek down deep inside, right? So I have a little bit of a connection with you all in that I love Greece, and that I have 100% blood even though I was born and raised in the United States. So thank you for coming here today. That's a little bit about myself. I have 3 children, 3 παιδιά, Eleni, Theophanis, we call him Franklin, and Calliope, 3 παιδιά, and my wife's name is Nisa, and my yaya would not call her Nisa. She would say, δεν ξέρω τη Nisa, θα την πούμε Nitsa. So, and I've been with Chick-fil-A, with my yaya could not say Chick-fil-A, Chick-fil-A, το κοτόπουλο, for 23 χρόνια. Είμαι με τη εταιρεία και τη αγαπάω πάρα πολύ. So I'm going to go English now, all right? Because I can't go any further than that. That's as good. Did I do okay? Huh? All right. All right. And my yaya used to tell me, βάλε λάδι στο κεφάλι σου να μην χάσεις τα μαλλιά σου. But it didn't work. So today we are going to be presenting how social media has helped us to engage customers and how to grow our business. That's the purpose of why we're here today. But before we do that, in addition to meeting me, I wanted to introduce our team. And I believe you said they would come sit up front after I introduce them. Is that what you want? Okay, so first it's going to be Daryl LaShore. He is a member of the support staff and the supply chain and in charge of logistics. He's been with Chick-fil-A for 20 years. Και δεν καταλαβαίνει, άμα φαίνεσαι σαν φαίνεται αυτός με άσπρα μαλλιά και φοράει κόκκινα παντελόνια, γιατί το κοιτάνε τόσο πολύ. Okay, enough of you. Secondly, Courtney Stewart. Also from the support staff. Support Center. She's a member of Daryl's team with supply chain and logistics, and she's been with Chick-fil-A 15 years. Thirdly, Stephanie Witt. Stephanie owns a Chick-fil-A restaurant, a very busy one, in the Washington, D.C., Maryland location, and she's been with Chick-fil-A 18 years. Then there's her husband, Terry Witt. He is Stephanie's spouse. He's an engineer. And of course, he's been locked in to Chick-fil-A for 18 years with his wife, and we are lifelong friends. We grew up in the same Horio. Then we have Jim Brown. Jim Brown helped introduce me to Chick-fil-A, was my mentor as I was getting started. He is a restaurant owner in Greensboro, North Carolina, and second time in Greece. And Jim, 31 years. Okay, then we have Justin Jackson. Also from the support center with the finance and accounting team, he's been with Chick-fil-A for 6 years. Well, now that you've met me, now that you've met our team, I want to tell you a little more about who is Chick-fil-A. It was impressive that many of you raised your hands. Let me also mention one thing about our hearts today. Our hearts today is to serve you. We, not that you need to know this, we paid money to come on this trip. Chick-fil-A paid some, but we paid money out of our own pockets and took time from our stores to come spend time with you. There's no incentive. We have no plan to open Chick-fil-A restaurants that I know, they haven't told me, in Greece. So the incentive is to come share with you. There's no hidden, we're not getting paid, we didn't get forced to come, it's not a requirement for the company. We raised our hand because we love our company so much, all of us do, that we wanted to come share with you. So you know what our hearts are about why we're here. But let me tell you a little bit about why we love the company so much. This is our founder, S. Truett Cathy. He originated a place called the Dwarf Grill in Georgia, Hateville, Georgia, in 1946. In 1961, he invented a thing called the Chick-fil-A boneless breast of chicken sandwich. We never had kotopolo, horisto, how do you say? Kokolomesa. He was the first one on Dovgali and created, I think we have a slide, of a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. Our whole company is built around that sandwich, those waffle fries, and our great people. In 1967, he opened the first Chick-fil-A restaurant, because before we called it the Dwarf House, in a mall. There was never, before that, any restaurants in malls in the United States. He saw lots of people and said, wow, that may be a good place to put food. There's a lot of people. And then, for 21 years, he only had one restaurant. And he was 46 years old. I'm 50, and I'm wanting to wind down a little bit. Truett Cathy was just getting started. He passed away in 2014, but I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this. We have 2,500 restaurants now. So up until he was 46 years old, he had Enna. And then he grew today to 2,500 in 47 states, $11 billion in annual sales, 51 straight years of sales growth. A company that has done amazingly well. And one of the things that has guided our principles and guided our company has been our corporate purpose and our mission statement that means a lot to us. It's not just a saying on the wall that you look at and go, everybody has saying, oh, yeah. That's something that means a lot to us. To glorify God by being a faithful steward of all that's entrusted to us, and to have a positive influence on all who come into contact with Chick-fil-A. We want to honor God with what we do, and when we come into contact with you, even though we realize we won't ever see many of you ever again, we want to have a positive influence on you because of our company, in addition to our own selves. Also, we want to be the most caring company. We want to be a company that cares for our customers, cares for our people, cares for our community, and in this instance, cares for our world. So, now that I've told you a little bit about our company and our founder, I want to tell you a little bit about where we do our business and where we do our sales and where it all started. It started, I told you about the Dwarf House in 1946. Now there's 17 Dwarf Houses. Then we said we went to the mall. We have 294 malls now. And then he took a leap of faith and opened over there on the left-hand side a freestanding restaurant. How many of you have been through a drive-through before? Do we have a lot of drive-throughs in Greece? Am I insulting your intelligence, or is that not like? How many of you have not been through a drive-through to get your food before? So quite a few of you in America. Βιάζουμε τόσο πολύ, right? Oh, τρέξε, δεν έχουμε ώρα. You don't get out of your car. You go through a drive-through, λες τι θέλεις, and then they hand it to you και φεύγεις. You Greeks are more relaxed. You enjoy your life. You go to tavernas. We rush, and that's why we lose our hair, because we're stressed out. You enjoy your meals. We have 1,754 of those restaurants. Now, I don't. I have one of those and one of those. I have veal, but the company has a lot more. We have urban centers. We have licensees on university campuses, 379. We have a total of 2,493 restaurants at this time. So, how are we doing? Αξίζουμε, κάνουμε καλά? Yes. I wanted to tell you, just real briefly, the 6 most loved fast food restaurants in America voted by Americans. We are consistently ranked America's favorite quick service restaurant. Who is and what is the most beloved brand? The brands that people, when you see the brand, you go, oh, I love that place. Our company is one of those places that people hear about it and see it and go, oh, I love Chick-fil-A. I don't deserve that love because I'm not that good looking. I wish they would say that about me. But about my company, they love Chick-fil-A. When I go into a supermarket or go into the mall after work, I don't even take off my uniform or take off my name tag. I'm proud about where I work. Not everybody can say that. In fact, when I have been stopped by a police for speeding, I put on my name tag because a lot of times the officer will not give me a ticket because he goes, oh, you're with Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A, and they let me go. That's not really the purpose. Now, let me tell you another really, really cool thing. The president of our company, look at his name, Elimas. O Babastu itane papas, I think, right? Papas itane, huh? Tim Tassopoulos, very active in the Greek community, very active in the Greek Orthodox Church in Atlanta, and he takes us out, all of the Greeks in the company, once a year to a Greek restaurant to enjoy our heritage. So the top of Chick-fil-A in Elinas. So that's a little bit about what we're doing here, who we are personally, who our company is. And I'm going to turn it over to Daryl, Justin, and Terry. They're going to tell you about the reason you're here, not to listen to me. Well, how many of you just want to skip the rest of this so we can talk? No. Okay. I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Daryl Matas Pramaya. Okay? Woo! The guy with the white hair.
So this is George Trump. I am Daryl Obama. All right. More claps. Yes, much better. It's great to be here today. I've been here before. This is my 4th or 5th time. I think my 3rd time coming to Sheffield. So I'm really honored that you all would be here today to listen to us. I think we have something very helpful that you'll learn, and it's really talking about marketing. I want to go back to, and just a little bit about me. I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, live in Atlanta, Georgia. George told you I've been at Chick-fil-A 20 years. I've always worked for the restaurant industry. I have a 16-year-old daughter, Vanessa. I have a son, 14. His name is Evan, and my wife, Candace, is a nurse, and she is from Newark, New Jersey. So again, we are glad to be here. Hopefully next year I'll bring them to Thessaloniki with me, and we'll have a nice vacation in Thessaloniki. But why are we here? George mentioned we're here to talk about marketing, digital marketing. So I want to go back to the first slide, if I could, Courtney. This slide. So if you read at the very bottom, it says to be what? The most caring company. Do you see anything in that sentence that talks about how many dollars we want to make every quarter or every year? You don't see anything. The biggest word there is to be the most caring company. So Courtney, if you would go back. This is our social strategy. I will not read it to you because you're all very educated individuals, but let's just take a few minutes. So the first line, I will read that. To create content and social conversation that inspires good care. So really the premise of our marketing strategy is really to care for people. Obviously through care and through caring about individuals and treating people with honor, dignity, and respect, that's a way to grow profits, but that is not the foremost primary reason for this strategy, or as George mentioned, for our company to exist. Truett Cathy says that when he first started, he didn't imagine that Chick-fil-A would be $10 billion today, but what he did say is, I want Chick-fil-A to be a great company, but I want you to have, but you have to understand that a great company is what? A caring company. So that's from our founder and owner, Truett Cathy. So a great company, say it with me, is what? A caring company. All right. So Justin and the rest of the team is going to get into the meat of the content. But I want to share with you just these 6 or so strategies on why we show care in a digital way. So the first one, we want to be the messenger for a meaningful messages. So we want to say something that's important to you, and we want to say something that's important to us as well. So be the messenger for meaningful messages. How about this? Bring joy outside of the restaurant. Have you ever been to a restaurant and you didn't feel as if you belonged or if they wanted to serve you? You did. So we want to bring you joy while you're in the restaurant, and then once you leave the restaurant, we want to say, that was a wonderful meal, but above all that, the people were wonderful, and the service and the care that I got was wonderful. All right, number 3, create content that breaks through feeds. Does anybody use Facebook, Instagram? I'll give you my Facebook and Instagram once we get done. We can all be friends. But what happens is we want to make sure that we create content that gets through what I would consider just the mundane or just the stuff that doesn't really mean anything to you. So if you come on my Facebook, I want to have something that's positive. You come on my Instagram page, I want you to see something that's going to make your day happy and joyful. Number 4, care to understand social and content platforms and how people are using them. So create content that's reflective of your experiences. So we want you to talk about the experience that you've had at one of our restaurants. Not just us, we want you to say, hey, I had an awesome time, or I had a wonderful experience, or I had a wonderful meal at Chick-fil-A. Number 5, use data to find the people who need care. So Truett always says that everybody needs encouragement and everybody needs to be cared for. So how do you know if someone needs encouragement? How would I know if you need encouragement? If you look sad. Okay, that's one answer. How about one other person? Yes. If they're, how did you know that? Yorgis told you, George. If you're breathing, we all need encouragement. So if you're breathing, we all need encouragement. So we need to find people who care, use the data to find people who need care. But above all that, I could sum that up just by saying if you're breathing, you need care. All right, and then number 6, is that number 5? That's number 6. Work with inspired creators to help good stories get told. So we work with people on the outside of Chick-fil-A, organizations, marketing companies that are able to help us create the content and tell the stories that you may have in our stories to ensure that you would have a remarkable experience and that you would feel cared for. So I've said enough. We're going to take questions throughout. You can ask me any question about this, but I'm going to turn the mic over now to Justin Jackson to share more content with you. So Justin Jackson or another Justin Obama.
Thanks, Daryl. All right. So I want to dig a little bit into the meat of what's going on. And so looking at these guys, I'm a lot younger than them. So when we think about social media, we think, okay, social media means something different to me than it does to Daryl. You see, he mentioned Facebook first. we're older. We don't use Facebook first. What are we using now? Instagram, Snapchat. We're using all kind of different things to get all kind of different media. So when we think about that, and we think about it from a business perspective, we're trying to say, okay, we care, but how do we do it differently on different platforms? Because if I post a picture on Instagram, it may not mean the same thing on Facebook. Or if I'm on Twitter, I might want news, I might want something catchy, so I might want something with words. So first we're gonna start with, what is content? So content may be a tweet, it may be a Netflix show, Instagram story, there's a lot up here, but it's anything that you consume on your phone, on TV, it's anything that you can consume. So that's what we think of when we think of content. So how do we bring this strategy to life? So let's start with Instagram. I think one of our favorites. How many times do you go to a restaurant because you see a picture on Instagram and you're like, man, that looks good? Or you see somebody else comment and say, this has been my favorite meal so far. And then you're like, okay, I don't go to a restaurant unless I look up the reviews first, because I want to make sure that it's something that someone else is giving me a recommendation for. So with Instagram, we want to start and we want to focus on this organic UGC. And when I say UGC, it's user-generated content. So as you're scrolling through, you might see an ad from, let's say you were talking to a friend about Zara or another clothing company. As you're scrolling through, all of a sudden you see an ad. Does that make you necessarily want to go jump and go to it? But what if I had on some clothes from Zara and I say, man, Zara's the best? I'm more likely to go because it's authentic. It's something that I chose. It wasn't paid for. No one's paying me to do it. And see at the bottom it says sponsored. So they have to disclose every time someone pays to put an ad in your face. So we're paying sometimes for content to put it in your face, but it's more beneficial when, let's say Jim, let's say you post about, having a great milkshake. It's more beneficial to me if you're gonna post it yourself, because I believe that this is something authentic. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't have paid shoots, so we use that as well, just to get our message out consistently, just across different countries, across different brands. And then we want to focus on stories. So we want to repost other people's stories in our story. Because now we've gone away. I don't post a lot on my feed anymore because that's something that's going to stay all the time. I'm posting something that's 24 hours. I want people to catch it while I'm there, and then I want them to move on. But I want them to see something going on in my life that's real time, but I'm not worried about it staying. It's going away. On Twitter, we have a lot more feedback. It's a lot more words. It's a lot more consumption of these things that we think about. So our first thing here is we want to be the anti-troll. How many times have you seen brands go back and forth with each other? Recently, we've had Popeye's Chicken come at us about their new sandwich. So it may be they're attacking us by saying we're open on Sunday, we're closed on Sunday. They may say a lot of different things trying to get some media attention from us, but we're saying we're not going to go into that because we're a caring company, and we always want to present ourselves in a way where we show honor, dignity, and respect to other people. So we're going to like and retweet positive stories. We're not going to post anything in direct attack of someone else. And we're going to partner with other people to share good content that they're sharing about us. We always want to be optimistic. And then we want to focus a lot on retweets and surprise and delights. Because we know, hey, we can learn more about people based on what they post and what they consume. And we can find ways to surprise and delight, send them a positive response back, send them a welcome to come to a store and have a free sandwich or a free milkshake. So we want to focus on that in Twitter. Then Facebook. So we've got a lot of users on Facebook. And we want to focus on that user-generated content. We don't want to be the company that's posting fake news and different things that aren't representative of who we are. We have an opportunity to use videos. You can post a lot longer on Facebook, and so we use that. And then we want to share stories from our actual news feed, post those so that we can spread our original messaging further. And then Chicken Wire. I'm not sure if a lot of people have heard of this. This is our own kind of take on social media. it's spun off of our webpage, but we post stories about our restaurant owners. We post stories about our recipes. We post stories about taking things and using them in a different way, just in some different type of content. So now we're going to have Terry come up and share a little bit about just how we've grown over time and how we use social media in that platform.
Okay, thank you. So the company as a whole spent the first 50 years as they developed the brand to really work on sales, to become more than Truett's one store into the 2,500 stores that we have today. So we concentrated the first 50 years on becoming a $1 billion organization. The second part of that journey that we've been on is the last 20 years to become America's favorite store. As George showed you, we are the top of the marketplace in America as the most caring, the most popular store in America as far as fast food business. And then the rest of the journey that we're on right now is to show America that not only are we good at what we do, that we're their favorite, but we actually care about our customers. And the next slide, this shows how Chick-fil-A has really concentrated our social media strategy in the near term has been really looking on how we influence people with the social media pieces of it. But most of it to date has been around how to reach people with the social media influences. So about 200 million posts on the web today are about food only. So we know there's a big market there that we need to touch and reach out to folks there. And foods are the most popular subject that's mentioned on social media too. And then 88% of the people that are on social media, via whatever media you like, have some link to a restaurant, and what they're looking at is reviews and how you do stuff. So we want to utilize social media to not only to fill our restaurants, but actually to inspire people and tell the story of Chick-fil-A worldwide. And that's the next. Now Justin's gonna tell us, have a little user panel here for us.
Thank you, Terry. We can have George back up to the stage. George.
Can I get some applause on that?
So we wanted to take a little bit of time and talk to our restaurant owners because they're out in the field, they're selling the chicken, they're using social media on a local level. So we started up here talking about what we do from a national perspective, but each one of their restaurants are different and they get to use social media for their restaurants in unique different ways. And so what we want to do is hear a little bit about their story, but then also dig into how they use it differently. So please give us a little bit of perspective on just your volume and just your story.
Again, my name is Jim Brown. I've been with Chick-fil-A 31 years. I'm married to my wife Liz for 40 years. I have two daughters and 6 grandchildren, which are a lot of fun. And so I'm excited all about that. The social media for me is, I liken it to a friendship. I'm sure some of you in this room are friends. And you want that relationship to be very healthy because there's so much support and so much good that comes out of a good friendship. And so in a sense, social media to me is really a friendship with the people that we share information with. And building that friendship is really important. Now, it's a business friendship, I understand that, but it's also a relationship that we have to be very careful to nurture and to handle the right way. And so the idea of building that friendship with you as a customer of Chick-fil-A means I get to have deeper relationships, but the big thing about a friendship is they're always there when times can be tough. So economically, when times are tough, as I build business friendships with you that are sincere and true, and we really enjoy being face-to-face with the people that come into our stores, the idea of building that friendship also has an impact in business when things are tougher. Because if we build that friendship, build that relationship, then when times are tougher business-wise, those people still come to see us because we've built a relationship. We've cared about the people that walk through our doors. and therefore our business continues to go on, and that means that not only do we continue to sell our product, but we also can continue to employ our people and make their life better. So the idea of building relationships with our customers is really important, and that's why I would do social media, to be able to reach out and to get to know people and to build a relationship business-wise, so that we can continue to have that relationship throughout the years. And we've tried to do that for 31 years in our business, and that's been a very special thing. Oh, I forgot. I have one store, and it's $6.5 million in sales per year.
Hello, I'm Stephanie Witt. I have one restaurant. It's a freestanding restaurant, and I've been a Chick-fil-A owner for 18, going on 19 years. Married to my husband, Terry, for 27 years. We have 3 children. Adam is 24. He works in the restaurant right now. He finished college and is working for us. And Cameron will graduate from the United States Naval Academy in May. He's 22, and Garrett will graduate from high school in May as well. He's 17. My journey with Chick-fil-A, it's funny that the 3 of us are sitting here at this panel at the same time. I was a scientist for the government for 10 years, and then went and owned a Chick-fil-A, got my MBA while I was working for the government. Jim helped George get started, and George helped me get started. So we're all kind of connected here, even though we're very in very different places. I'm in Maryland, just about an hour and a half outside of DC. So when you guys picture DC, you know it's a very busy place. A lot of people, you can open your doors and be really busy, just like out here. That's not where we live at all. We're very, very rural. Not a lot of people, not a lot of foot traffic. So we definitely had to figure out a way to get people into our store. No one knew what Chick-fil-A was when we started there 19 years ago. Not a clue. They were like, what is this place? Why is it here? They didn't know we had breakfast. They didn't know what we were doing. So we had to figure out how to get people in. But that was before social media even. So now, and we'll talk a little bit about that journey through some of the questions that Justin has, but now social media has definitely helped us to draw those people in, get them in our store, and Jim went through a lot of, what has social media done for us. One of the biggest things for me, being in a very small town, number 1, get them in the store, but number 2, let the community that is doing business with us know how much we care about them. So we do things, I live in a very military town. We do things like a military appreciation day, where all the military and their families come in, and I feed them all for free. So they come in and it's just a free-for-all. It's really crazy. But we go ahead and we do things like that. And through social media, we would post a lot of that out there so that other people who weren't able to make it can see how much we care about our community, making that relationship really work. So we had to be very intentional about what we did and how we did it. So over the going on 19 years, we have grown our business 900%. We started out doing $1 million in sales, and this year I will do $9 million in sales this year. So.
I'm going to wait and answer your additional follow-up questions, but just to kind of paint the picture of where I stand compared to them. Εγώ είμαι φτωχούλης. Εγώ μένω σε πολύ μικρή πολιτεία και αυτοί κάνουν πιο πολλά λεφτά από μένα. Δηλαδή είμαι λιγάκι τσιγκούνι, το κάνω αρκετά, προσέχω. Το μαγαζί μου δεν μ' αρέσει να λέω νούμερα γιατί ξέρω είναι πάρα πολύ μεγάλα, αλλά να ξέρεις είμαστε όλοι ίδιοι. Είναι διαφορετικά η Αμερική. Άρχισα σε Greeklish. 1.9 million. Και τώρα τούτο το χρόνο θα είμαι κοντά στο 6. So, but 23 χρόνια, σιγά σιγά. Και είμαι σε μικρή, σαν τη Σπάρτη, σαν πιο μικρή από τη Κατερίνη. Είμαι σε 33.000. But ο παππούς μου ήρθε 15 χρονών με πιο λίγο από $1 στη τσέπη του, εκεί στο χωριό μας. Ήρθε η γιαγιά μου, πέθανε μια γιαγιά, πήγε πίσω στο χωριό, έφερε άλλη. Ήρθε ο μπαμπάς, σαν και ο μάνα μου και ο πατέρας μου, μένουμε, πώς το λένε, next door, όχι απέναντι, next door. Έτσι, σαν the Greek family, right? So, είναι πολύ δύσκολο να φύγω εγώ. So, έχω κάτσει, θα μ' άρεσε να έρθω σε πιο μεγάλη πολιτεία σαν Θεσσαλονίκη, Αθήνα, but κάθομαι και κάνουμε πάρα πολύ καλά. But το social media είναι ένα πράγμα που έπρεπε να μάθω πώς να το κάνω, γιατί με έχει βοηθήσει πολύ στη δουλειά μου.
We're recording this, don't worry. So now you have a little bit of context to just how big their businesses are now, but it didn't start that way. So tell us a little bit, give us one example each of what are things that you did back when, 31 years ago. What did you do to market your business? How did you let people know what Chick-fil-A was?
Well, a lot of it was just face-to-face. You had to see the people in order to have an impact market-wise. Now, we did sample Chick-fil-A product, and my girls were 7 and 8 years old when I started, and they're cute. And so they'd be out front handing out chicken, and people would take it. Now, if I stood out there and handed out chicken, not so much. But they were cute. And then we'd put them at the register, standing on a milk carton, and have them work register, and people would come up. So you just had to do things face-to-face in order to attract people to our store. Sampling was one of those things that we did. We did have a mascot back in the day that was Doodles. It was a big chicken, and I dressed up like that one time and ran around the mall and almost passed out because it was so hot, because I had a shirt and a tie and long pants on inside a chicken outfit, so you don't want to do that. But those are the types of things that we had to do face-to-face, actually handshake, be right in front of people in order to market, and obviously social media transcends that.
Okay, so different from Jim, we were not in a mall, so there was no foot traffic, like I told you guys before. So I had to figure out a way in this very rural setting to get people to want to even come in and try our sandwich. So what I realized very quickly is what is one of the most important thing to any parent? Their children. What do their children want? So I've put all of my focus into schools. If your child did really great in behavior, they got a coupon for a free kids meal. If they did really great on their report card, they got a coupon for a free kids meal. And what happens? Is that child going to drive themselves to my Chick-fil-A? No, and mom's probably going to eat when she comes. So then when we got them in the door, we could absolutely create a great experience for them. We have a nice big play place. The kids were running and playing on the slide, and so then they want to come back. And typically wherever the children want to go, mom's going to go. So we really focused on that. We had to get it into their hands. The other thing that we did is any kind of local road races, running races, like your big marathon, we'd go and actually take food and hand them, here's a chicken biscuit, so that they would come try it. And once they tried it, they wanted to come and eat with us more often.
Very similar to Jim, our company was very popular in the South. And I'm not. I'm more in the Midwest, close to Ohio. So people had not eaten Chick-fil-A. So we would go into malls because there was people there who were there not for Chick-fil-A. They were there for other shopping. And we'd stand outside, and when we say sampling, that means we take a piece of our chicken sandwich, cut it up with a toothpick, and say, would you like to try a piece of Chick-fil-A chicken? And we hoped, because our product is so good, that you taste it, and you were heading down to, in America, it's not like Greece, where you have souvlaki, 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 spanakopita, 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 bifteki. In America, you go to, there's Mexican, hey, there's a lot. I know you have it here, but we got people to try it, and they were heading down to get pizza, and they go, that's very good. And we see them turn to our counter and come with us, even though they had no intention. Likewise, to what Stephanie said, we got involved in as much as we could in the community, inviting people and showing them, yes, we have a great reputation of having super nice people, a very clean store, but we also had to make it visible to them in our community, right? So I spent a lot of time being sure that I was on the front counter so I could greet people. I made sure that I had all smiling faces and good people serving so that we could exhibit that love and care that they'd heard about, but it didn't matter if you hear about it. They needed to realize it. Also realize one thing I didn't mention in our introduction, that we're closed on Sundays. That's a big deal in America, right? Nobody, and in Greece, no statoria klinos Kyriaki, right? Nobody. We're closed on Sundays, which really was something that made a statement to our community, because one of the things Chick-fil-A says is one of the greatest statements we make is when our lights are actually turned off, right? It's not marketing, actually marketing is lights and show. This is like when they see that we are actually willing to put our pocketbooks away for a day and not just say we care about people. We close a day. Imagine 52 days of sales when you're doing 20,000 timera. That's a statement. So those are some of the things we had to do, grassroots, to get people to say, I know you love souvlaki. I know you love pizza. Come try my place. For free. I'll give it to you. Come try. Hoping that next time you go, καλό. Έχεις ακούσει και το λες αυτό, ναι. Και εσύ, έχεις ακούσει το Chick-fil-A, έχεις ακούσει, and next thing you know, my whole community loves Chick-fil-A. I do more sales in a month now than I did my whole first year in business 23 years ago. It just grew.
Thank you for that. It seems like you worked really hard in the beginning, and you could only influence those people who came to you. So you were focused. If you saw somebody, you were going to tell them about your brand. Well, now, think about how many people we can reach, and we never even see them face to face. So as we think about that, think about all that hard work. The work isn't done. So now that you can use social media in your community, like, what do you do? Who's in charge of it? And how do you use social media to make a bigger impact, but then also to drive more people to your business?
Well, I know that it's critically important to have the social media. Obviously, I don't use social media a lot myself because I'm a little older than you are, and so I'm not as experienced with social media. So I have folks that are young, that are able to do that can understand social media and understand to reach out, how to reach out, and how to do those things to attract all kinds of customers, not just young, not just old, but to be able to do those things. And so we try to paint a very clear picture. We use Facebook, we use Instagram, we use our website, and so we try to paint a picture of who we are, and we reach out to different groups and try to really have an impact by words, by pictures of things that will attract people in. So I need help for me to do that by finding the right people in my business to be able to make that impact with social media.
Okay, so like Jim said, I'm not as young as some of the generation here, but I do have a son that works for us, and he's very good at that sort of thing. In the beginning, I took care of all of the marketing. Really couldn't afford to pay someone to do it. Now I have 3 people on staff for marketing. Social media is part of it. We use it in several ways. One, like I told you, let's show the community that we care about them. We will be at an event and we'll have the mascot out with us, or we'll be handing out free sandwiches, and we'll make sure that it's videotaped and then live feed for people to see. So sense of urgency, come out where we are. As well, we use it, say we have a new product. We use it saying, if you come in between this time and this time, you get a free one if you show that you saw it on social media. Create that sense of urgency, get them to come right away. And then basically just to make sure that people see our products. The most fun thing that we have going on with our social media right now is our customers love to put stories up about us. We have a lady who eats breakfast with us 6 days a week. She never misses. If she misses, we start to worry. She's in there every day. And her name is Miss Eleanor. Miss Eleanor comes in, and she came up to me and she said, I want the birthday of every single one of your day employees. Give me their birthday. I was like, okay. So Miss Eleanor comes in with a birthday cake for every one of my employees. So she came to me the other day and she said, Miss Stephanie, your birthday is not on this list. I said, I'm too old for birthdays. I don't get a cake. But she didn't want to hear that. She wanted mine as well. But she loved to post on there that she loves us as much as we love her. So the social media has gone full circle with her. So now she wants to tell people.
Okay, real quick quiz question before I end. Chick-fil-A of Vienna, go on Facebook, tell me what's happening at my store today. Raise your hand if the first person to find out. Chick-fil-A of Vienna on Facebook, if you can find it. So, at our store, very similar to Jim, δεν είμαι πολύ έξυπνος. So I have to have έξυπνοι μαζί μου. One of those έξυπνοι is my social media people, γιατί γέρασα. Και δεν καταλαβαίνω αυτά που καταλαβαίνουν τα παιδιά. So my social media people help me be sure that we have a presence. But let's be sure we understand this whole concept. Number one, let's be sure we understand this is sincere. This isn't like we're playing a game to try to get you to give us money. We love our company. Number two, we have to produce, right? We can care all you want, right? You could be the nicest guy in the room, the best, the nicest, and he's not very nice. But his souvlaki, nostimo, καλό, good employees. Και το δικό σου souvlaki, λιγάκι κρύο, δεν αξίζει. I love you, but I'm going to his store, I'm a pinao, right? You have to be good, right? You have to have a product that people want. It's got to be attractive, and people have got to want it. And we're not talking about food. Okay? Remember, if you're sitting here going, I'm never going to have a restaurant, why did I come to this? This doesn't apply to just food. This applies to every place. Anybody find out what my promotion today is? Yes. Good job. All right, high five. Bravo. Okay, so today at my store and a lot of Chick-fil-A stores, if you're a veteran, that means you were in the military, active or retired, you can come to my store this morning and have a free breakfast for me to say thank you. Not only do I want to do that, but it does, yes, provide goodwill to the community. Because people say, just like they say about these, oh my goodness, Stephanie and Terry are so involved in the community. They're such nice people. Oh my goodness, when my son's group at school needs coupons or needs food or needs help or needs a donation or needs to raise money, Chick-fil-A helps. And in addition to that, they're good. They're nice, they're clean, and they're good. And they help us, and they're active, and they live in the town, and we know them. So yes, that does help. Now, if you're not good, if your souvlaki isn't good, then they're still not going to come to me. They still complain to me if I'm slow, if my food's cold, I have to hear it. They write me messages. So they hold me to an even higher standard than the average person because they expect the best from me, right? So it's a little bit of pressure, but it does complete the whole package of I have people that help me with that angle because I need the help and it's important.
Okay, so you've heard enough from us. Now, let's open it up to the floor. Does anybody have any questions for the restaurant owners?
He's got one, Justin.
Okay. We got one, and then we're coming over there.
Why you have restaurants only in America?
Yeah, Truett, remember Truett, the original founder? Truett always felt like before we got bigger, we needed to get better. So his goal was not to open up several thousands of restaurants. That really happened over time, and we always felt like we didn't have enough presence in the United States prior to going international. So we do have a push now to be international. Again, our first restaurant that's an actual restaurant that you could go to is in Toronto. And there's some other places that are on the map. But we were originally just a US-based company, and it was really just to make sure we could get, better as opposed to getting a much larger organization. Does that help? Do you want to be our second international operator? Okay, all right. Oh.
I would like to know how do you handle data and people's privacy? Social media, of course.
We do have a couple categories of what we would consider customers. So we have some customers that we utilize a tool called Spotlight. It has data in it that might highlight certain things about your birthday or information that you want to give us. However, that information is held very confidential. So we don't utilize that information. We don't sell it to anyone else so that they can profit from it. That data is specific to Chick-fil-A. And it's data that you give us as opposed to us pulling data from you without your authority. So our highest level of customer might be Spotlight. But we utilize an app. We might be able to show that to you. We have an app that, I don't know, what's the percentage of people who utilize the app for your restaurants?
For mine, it's up to about 29% of all the customers are not walking in. Sorry, for my restaurant right now, it's about 29% of my customers are not actually walking in to order. They're ordering via an app before they get there, and they have a few options there. They can either walk in and carry it out. They can come in, sit down, and our tables are numbered. Take a picture of what table they're sitting at, and we'll bring it to their table. Or they can park outside, and we'll bring it to them outside.
How many of you have restaurants where there's an app that when you go in, you scan it and they reward you with free prizes after you accumulate so many visits and points? Is that something you guys do a lot of here? I don't want to insult your intelligence. There's just two? Nobody else is familiar with that? Do we have that in Greece? So I just want to be sure that we don't talk about concepts that we kind of understand what they mean, but you're like, "Ti Milano, think so." Na figo mes.
I think some of these guys are IT majors, right?
Right.
IT majors? Anybody in here? No, not in this group?
How many of you have apps that when you go to a restaurant you can order so it's ready when you arrive and you can pay for it on your phone? Okay, so that is what America. Now, granted, your culture, the thing I love about your culture is you go to tavernas and relax and you make fun of us Americans because we're in a hurry, and you guys enjoy. But I know you guys are in a hurry too sometimes. In America, we have apps that you get points, katefora. Like say you go in and you get a deka souvlakia, and after the 10th one, they'll give you an 11th one for free, or they'll give you a meze, or but it's computer generated. Okay.
Other questions? We do want to, yes.
When you go from state to state, do you make any modifications to your products?
So we make no modifications to the product. So what you get in West Virginia is what you get in North Carolina. So it's the same menu across the board. Same products. You may have more questions. We'll take a couple seconds. We want to show you a commercial. So we talk about how we market our brand. We'll show you a commercial. Then I've got another special treat that just happened. Someone just walked in that I'm familiar with. So this is a commercial that we show in the U.S. So that was an actual customer who left his change, $3. That was an actual customer who came to a Chick-fil-A and he left his change. And that team member in the red shirt actually kept the $3 with him until he saw him again. How about that? So that's why we care. It's not about the profits. Team members could have certainly kept the money, but he didn't. He waited for the customer. Any other questions? Yes.
Thank you. Except from advertising on social media, do you advertise on TV and on radio or magazines? What else do you use?
So we utilize television, obviously. That's one of the commercials I showed you. We have other commercials. I'm sure we could pull up some other ones. Courtney or Justin could show you a few more. But he has commercials. We do some radio spots. Do you guys do any radio spots in your market, as a market?
You probably use a lot of chicken in your commercial.
We use a lot of cows in our commercial. We can show you that as well. Yes, Steph? We'll show you a few more.
Chick-fil-A and the Cardinals have teamed up to bring a special offer to fans in St. Louis. Any Thursday the Cardinals play at home, fans can score a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich or 8-count nuggets for free. All you have to do, wear your Cards gear to the restaurant.
We just want to be very generous. At Chick-fil-A, we want to give back to our local community. There's no better way than to partner with the St. Louis Cardinals and have a partnership with them. There's Cardinal fans, throughout the whole metro area. Most people have a St. Louis Cardinal, shirt at home and stuff like that, or jersey. Throw that on, and we're more than happy to have you try our food at no cost.
We are big Cardinals fans, so of course we have Cardinal gear, and we love that.
So when the Nationals won, we did every single person, we used kind of a geofencing type technology to find out who was in the area. And for all the National fans, they just came in and got a free sandwich just because they were in the area. It went straight down to their app that they can order off of. So they got to take advantage of that.
Okay, we may have more questions, but I'm going to ask a special friend, Lefteres, to come up. This is a treat for me. We met last year, and I'm going to let him tell you what he does for Chick-fil-A. So Chick-fil-A has partners, suppliers, vendors in Greece, in Thessaloniki. So with that, I'd like for you to, nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. Okay, so it's great seeing you here, and great to seeing you again. I don't know who of you knows Skooks. Skooks is a company that started out of Greece, Thessaloniki. We built a learning and talent development platform, but all of our businesses in the US. We are headquartered in Austin, just originated from Greece. We have over 1,000 customers that we serve as of now, and one of our biggest successes a couple of years ago was when we were able to win the business of Chick-fil-A. So we started serving a small part of Chick-fil-A's organization, their help desk, and after 1 year of successful partnership, we were able to win the whole thing, the whole organization. For us, it was a huge success, not only because of the size, but because Chick-fil-A in the US is one of the most well-respected brands, a company that is known to take care of their people. The workday is 6 days in a week, so they have a lot of very great facilities. We've been there many times. Been working with them now for about 2 years, and we have their entire training, which is delivered to close to 100,000 employees across the entire United States through our platform. And we really feel honored to be in business with Chick-fil-A, and very proud to be able to serve that brand. It's going very well, and it was a very nice surprise when I got an email from Vasilis letting me know that you're coming again. So, yeah, no, thank you.
Okay, more questions. We have some more commercials to show you, and then we'll just start to wrap it up.
How do you measure the effectiveness of social media? And if it's engagement, what do you mean by engagement?
So we have a social media group that we pay to monitor our page. They monitor to see how many hits we have gotten, so how many people have looked at it, how many people have shared it, how many likes, those types of things, as well as the growth of the number of people that we've had join the pages. Also, they measure impact. So impact, they tell me, and I'm no social media expert, so that's why I pay someone who is. They tell me that it has to do with how many times, what is your area of influence? So if we have our small area puts out a social media broadcast, then they share it, then it gets shared again. They can measure how far that area of impact is based on where that end user is.
We can sometimes tell how big an event's going to be just by checking to see how many likes and shares. We'll look and we'll say, oh my goodness, that thing has really gone viral. It's gone big. And we will prepare for a bigger event than one that doesn't seem to get a lot of traction. A lot of times we can tell by that. Right. So I don't have Instagram because I'm old-fashioned, so I will have to. Hey, by the way, while you got everybody's still awake, let me share something with you real quick. I was looking for a Chick-fil-A video. My kids only speak English. They catalaveno nelinika. We've tried. You want to make my kids mad? When I wake them up in the morning, I go around sometimes and I play this song in their bedrooms on a speaker. Listen. I go dancing around their bedrooms to this song. And when I do that, they put their heads under the pillow and they yell, "Get out of here!" All right. I had to share that with you.
You had a question in the back. Gentlemen.
Since you said that every restaurant, every type of the restaurant needs a different approach to the people and every location much, does every restaurant has its own digital marketing strategy, or you have to follow some skeleton or something like that?
As operators, we have the choice to market our business as we see fit based on where we are. And so that's why it could be different from one store to the next. We, for our store, do more of a outreach to the community right around us, trying to pull them in. And so that's kind of our strategy. And we do things, again, based on what I believe. And we have consultants from Chick-fil-A that will help us as well to say what's our best marketing strategy. But I don't have to do what Chick-fil-A corporate would like me to do. I do what I feel is best for my business based on the information that I get.
So recently, there was always this. I was looking to see if there was a marker up there, but there isn't. There was always this triangle approach where the base of the triangle, the largest part, was your local marketing would be the largest part of what you would do, and the middle would be like your area marketing, so the people within a certain radius of myself, and then the top would be the smallest part of the triangle. At the top would be kind of the corporate marketing, where we do the Peach Bowl and those types of things. Now the approach that corporate is actually taking is your triangle almost looks like two triangles that are meeting in the center, more of a prism. So local is very important, and so is corporate marketing, but in the center is our area marketing. They're finding that we're getting the most bang for our buck if we do pay more attention to the closer surroundings.
Jim may have to help me with this. This is before I actually got here, so the cows have been around more than 20 years. But the cows probably came into play, early 90s? So we worked with an advertising company out of Texas that actually helped us create what we would consider kind of an oxymoron for what it is we do. We sell what kind of products? Chickens. So guess who would tell us to eat more of them and less, well, how should I say that? Just watch the commercial, you'll see. I'm sorry. Okay, so we can show you some more. But basically, the cows advertise for us. The cows don't want you to eat burgers. They want you to eat chicken.
Shake. Down. Speak.
So this was for the burger chains. We wanted them, you'll see some more.
Hey, Timmy, what did you say to me when I said I was going to invent the telephone? I said you were crazy. And what did you say to me this morning when I said I wanted chicken for breakfast? I said you were crazy. 0 for 2, pal. This new egg white grill from Chick-fil-A is aces.
Chicken for breakfast. It's not as crazy as you think. Try the new egg white grill from Chick-fil-A.
All right, so you can see we do utilize other media just beyond word of mouth. but the cows want you to eat less cows or no cows and eat more what? Eat more chicken. All right. As Jim said, it started as a 3-month promotion that has lasted more than 20 years. All right, other questions? Yes.
So earlier you mentioned how you deal with the negative comments directed from other companies. Say Wendy's is very famous for their negative comments, or McDonald's and whatnot. But my question is, what's your approach towards negative comments from the people? So say there's a majority of people who are saying the product is not good, or an employee did this or did that. So how do you handle that social media wise?
So currently, and we mentioned this, but I know you don't understand it. Currently, we are getting attacked by a chicken restaurant called Popeyes. Have you ever heard of Popeyes? You have heard of Popeyes? Is it in Greece? Okay, so they do a lot of things. First of all, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, they're famous for what? Burgers. So it seems odd when they advertise chicken, right? Us. They also do little things like when McDonald's started their breakfast chicken biscuit, they also started sweet tea and a country chicken sandwich, country fried chicken sandwich. Those are 3 things that we sell. And then they said available every day, including Sunday. Who's that directed towards? Who's the only major chain in the United States closed on Sundays? Us. When you walk into a grocery store, the most popular grocery stores in America, there is a bag that looks just like us, a foiled bag, with a chicken on it, with a chicken sandwich that looks just like ours. When you go to the grocery store, there's a box that you can get that gives you pickles, a bun, a chicken sandwich that looks like ours, and patatas that we have waffle fries. They look, I don't know if you saw the picture. You can buy them. So we have a lot of places that have seen how well we're doing, and they come after us. And I don't know if I can answer the question great, but we choose to not answer. Our answer is be great, right? Because if we are just great, we feel that the difference is that a lot of people can copy our nuggets. McDonald's has, Burger King, Wendy's. A lot of people can copy our sandwich. Popeyes is trying. Wendy's has tried. McDonald's has tried. There's only one thing that American companies cannot copy that we have. And this is a hard question, but let me answer. What do you think? Any idea what it is that we have that McDonald's can't do? Huh? Our people, our culture, our beliefs. What we stand for. They can't copy because Popeyes, that has a very good sandwich. Some people that love Chick-fil-A have even said, Drepelmen na po, toga papiopoli. Drepelmen. But they still come to us. I look at my, Popeyes is across the street from my store. And my store has lines all the way around, and they barely have anybody still. Because Popeyes is not known for anything in my town. They're not known for great service. They're not known for being very fast. They're not known for being involved in the community. They have no virtues, I don't believe, that people go, oh, Popeyes, love Popeyes. Some do, but in general, our strategy is great people, execute, be great, and don't get involved in we don't get involved in that. I don't know if I answered that well, but
so Stephanie is going to take it just one step further. We're almost done. What would you do if a customer had an issue at your restaurant, like a food complaint or a service complaint?
So I believe that's what you were trying to get to the bottom to. And of course, like, you're going to do 9 million in sales. I'm not too naive to know that we're not going to make everyone happy. Okay, I know we're not going to make everyone happy. We have great systems in place. At a corporate level, we have a company called CARES, where someone could call in and they can tell, you know, hey, my sandwich wasn't as fresh as I like it, or hey, that team member didn't say my pleasure. And from there, we will try to recapture that, that guest, either by offering them a free sandwich at their next meal, or, you know, simply just apologizing to them about their experience. We try to take care of it first, though, at just a local level. So I have 8 main managers that work for me, and my directors try to stay on the floor as much as possible, so that they can tell if someone's having a bad experience, and we can try to catch them at that level. And if someone's unhappy, we simply just replace it. We don't question them about it. We don't say, you know, you didn't like that sandwich, oh, well, you're just complaining. No, it doesn't matter. We'll just go ahead and replace it for them, because in the long run, I would rather have them happy. It's very easy for a customer to tell you when they're not happy. Not so easy for them to tell a lot of friends when they are happy. So we know that if someone is unhappy, they're going to run out the door and tell at least 7 people. Just statistically, that's what they said. They're going to tell 7 people about their bad experience, so we don't want them to have that.
With social media too, as you get on social media about not responding to bad comments, Chick-fil-A as a corporation sets policies. Even though these guys are independent owners, they have the right to, you know, sell and operate their own businesses, but the company as a whole has a policy, and their policy with social media is they won't get into that game. So each of the owners abide by those policies.
Don't fool yourself. We do get cream crushed sometimes on social media. It's not like everybody loves us. Every day somebody comes to my store, I know, and doesn't get the experience they expect. I realize that we handle 1,000, 1,500 people a day. Right? So we do sometimes get criticized. It happens a lot.
And then from that social media perspective, so she mentioned Chick-fil-A Cares. So let's say you post something and say, my sandwich was awful today. You're gonna have the opportunity, you might get a direct message from us and say, hey, we'd like for you to call Chick-fil-A Cares, so that you can reach out, tell them what happened, where it happened, so that we can reach out to Stephanie or George so they can contact you personally.
But not Jim.
Perfect. Jim too. But that way they can contact you about the experience you had in their restaurant.
I would agree to write you back to the pastillo on the
I didn't think you were.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, so number 1, thank you for being here. It's a Monday evening. Well, that's for you all. So our thanks is to you all for being engaged, for being here, and we really appreciate each and every one of you. Number 2, you are all leaders. So if I was going to sum this up in any way, I would just simply say be flexible, be generous, be kind to your customers. If you're going to be in business, it's not always about money, but it's about impact, it's about influence, and it's the 4-letter word that I used earlier. It's about what? Care. Just show people that you care. And in the end, I can guarantee you'll be successful. Number 3, if there's anything from Vasilis that you'd like to say, we certainly appreciate the opportunity. This has been a pleasure.
Well, firstly, I need to thank Mr. Ignatios Merimaris for being a great friend and a great partner in this. It wouldn't have been possible without him for more than 10 years now. Lefteris, of course, for dropping by. For those who don't know, Skooks is one of the most successful Greek startups, and we're really happy to have them in Thessaloniki. And of course, thank all of you for being here, and all of you for being here, for traveling all this way, far across from the United States. There are so many So many times that I've been with you, and each time I was just discussing this with my assistant Stefania earlier, that so many times I've heard and I've listened to your presentations, and each time it's different because it's all based on people, and there's always new things for me to hear and learn from you. So many, many thanks for being with us. We have some small gifts for you. Many thanks, guys. Feel free to use this opportunity if you want, if you were shy or anything, to meet the people, the guys personally, and get their email addresses and so on. Many, many thanks again. Ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ. Thank you so much. Yeah, of course. Selfies and the gift.